Hello everyone, this is Dennis, and you're on the Electro channel. Every radio amateur has occasions when they need to solder something that can't be heated very much. For example, batteries. Spot welding was invented to solder something quickly and securely. The advantages of spot welding are that it bonds parts in a split second and doesn't require flux or solder. Today, I decided to review a spot welder I bought on AliExpress. It looks like this: a board and 4 wires, 2 for input and 2 for output. There's nothing remarkable about it. I'll tell you about how it works, its characteristics, and its accessories now. Enjoy watching. The welding machine comes with 4 nuts and 4 bolts. 2 silicone insulated wires connect the welder to the battery. The wire diameter is 2.6 millimeters, and the length is approximately 28 centimeters. Documentation: nickel-plated tape, 8 millimeters wide and 0.15 millimeters thick. And 2 more wires. Electrodes are attached to them in heat shrink tubing. The length of the wires, including the electrodes, is 33 centimeters. This is what the electrode looks like without the heat shrink tubing. You need to put it on yourself. It's also included in the kit. A wire is pressed into one end of the copper electrode. A copper tip is also pressed into the other. The welding board looks like this. Its dimensions are 9 by 6 millimeters. I'll tell you a little about the components. At the top are 5 high-power IRL40SC209 field effect transistors. The documentation for the welding machine states that they are made in Germany. One such transistor can handle up to 300 amperes. All the transistors are soldered in parallel, so their total current capacity will be around 1500 amperes. Below is a PC817 optocoupler. It's located in the transistor control circuit. The control chips send a signal to the optocoupler, which then opens and current flows to the transistor gates. The output of the microchips has no contact with the gate. Under the optocoupler is a speaker that produces very loud beeps. On the right are 2 identical 74HC595D microchips. These are 8-bit shift registers. These are used to adjust the pulse duration during which the current will flow. To the right of them is a digital LED indicator, and below it is a small 8-legged microcircuit. I couldn't read its markings. Further down are 3 buttons, which I'll talk about later. Above them is a 470 microfarad, 25-volt electrolytic capacitor, and to the left of that is a rectifier diode marked M7. And just below is a 78L05 linear step-down converter. It steps down the input voltage from the battery to 5 volts. This voltage powers the entire welding control. The wires from the battery to the board are connected to these terminals. A bolted connection is required here. You can solder a connector into these holes to make it easier to disconnect from the battery. The wires leading to the welding electrodes will be located on the left. They are connected only with bolts. To prevent the tracks on the board from burning out due to the high current, copper wire is soldered to them. Its diameter is about 2 millimeters. There's nothing special on the back of the board. All the free space is occupied by large heat-dissipating polygons. The documentation says that additional transistors can be soldered into these empty spaces. they will operate in parallel with all the other transistors. This means the total current capacity will be approximately 3,000 amps. This assumes, of course, that the exact same transistors are used. And you can also solder copper wire into the empty spaces on the tracks. The supply voltage range for spot welding is small, from 9 to 16 volts. But the most important thing here is that a high current is needed. Therefore, small batteries won't work. I'll use a lead-acid battery. It's certainly not new, but it will do the trick in this situation. I don't have any special clamps that fit over the battery terminals, so I had to make cable ties from the radio cable shield. The current is very high, and if the contact is poor, there will be a significant power loss. The wires running from the board to the battery are very short. It's either on its side or hanging by the wires. And when you grab the electrodes to weld something, the board starts moving along with your hands. After the board is connected to the battery, it starts working immediately. The display shows a 1. I press the first button and the welder turns off. Pressing it again turns it on. Pressing the second button increases the welding pulse time. The display shows the pulse time as a percentage, not seconds. If you turn the welder off and then back on during this time, the settings are saved. But if you completely disconnect the battery, everything resets. The last button decreases the pulse time. Spot welding should be done as follows. Take some metal object and place the plate on it. First press one electrode, then the other. You hear a signal beep, and then a high current pulse occurs. If the electrodes short-circuit each other or the metal object for a short time and are quickly separated, nothing will happen. If the electrodes are not separated, welding will occur. Or, more simply, a short circuit. The tape should lie as flat as possible on the metal surface. Then, use electrodes to press it firmly. Don't press too hard. This requires some experience. Over time, you'll begin to understand how hard to press the probes. If everything is done correctly, there should be few sparks after the pulse. If the tape is crooked and not parallel to the metal surface, and the electrode pressure is weak, the high current will burn a hole in the tape. This will result in a lot of hot sparks flying, and no welding will occur with the metal. This is a very dangerous situation, as hot sparks can fly into your eyes. So be very careful. Now let's move on to testing. First, I'll take a BMS for lithium-ion batteries. There are some spot welding pads there. I place a nickel-plated plate on one of them. The welding power was set to 10. The plate welded, but not securely. Although, if you don't jerk it or subject it to high current, it would work just fine anyway. This BMS's maximum current is low, only 10 amps. The welding power and number of weld spots should be selected for each specific case. I'll increase the power and set it to 30. It's welded much better now. The tape broke, and pieces of it remained on the board. And here I'm connecting the batteries. These are high-current lithium-ion batteries that will be used in a screwdriver. Therefore, the connection area here needs to be larger. And this is what the entire battery pack looks like. Here I decided to connect 2 ordinary razor blades. Right now, the power setting is at its lowest. The blades connected, but not tightly. The power is low. I'll increase it and set the power to 30. Just now, there was a very powerful light show. I was a little confused by the surprise. The board under the blades was charred. The blades connected, but holes were burned right through them. The pulse force was very strong. I need to make the time shorter. I'll give it a 10. I'll try to break them apart. It turned out to be very easy. Due to the properties of the alloy the blades are made of, the weld simply broke. As you can see, spot welding is a very good and useful tool for a radio amateur, and can be very useful in certain situations. That's all for today. Like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, ask questions in the comments if anything is unclear, and bye everyone.